course, you have an administrator, you have 3 detectives, and you have 8 officers. 8 officers' duties are to answer all the calls in the county. They are to do the transports back and forth to the courts, transports to going to other counties, other states, to retrieve inmates that have to be back to our facility. And with that, it takes a lot of officers off the road. With that, we're not in fear because with the other towns and cities inside the county, there's always a given 7 officers in the county at a time. We do a lot of interaction with the departments, training, and so we always have the protection in the county that we need. If a disaster comes up, such as what happened out here at Bass Lake last summer, we put on a call to the other departments, and we can have as many as 100 officers in the county at any given time. So, is your county protected? Yes, your county is protected. Thank you.
Thank you. And you have
I got question number 2, but I think it was the wrong question, I'm sure of it.
how much responsibility should the sheriff be held accountable regarding the recent conditions of the jail?
Okay, let me start off by saying this. First, thanks for being here and hearing what we have to say. It's very important for you guys to be informed about who you're going to vote for. But as far as responsibility for the jail goes, I just think that when you're elected sheriff, or any position that you're elected to, you maintain a lot of responsibility to the people that put you inside that office. And it's your job to know daily, weekly, yearly, what goes on inside that office. So if your office, or in this case the jail, is not compliant, it's your complete responsibility. It doesn't matter if you have jail commanders or officers or jailers or other people that were responsible for handling those duties. Ultimately, as the sheriff, it's your responsibility to make sure that those things are being done, they're being done correctly. And if they're not, then you need to take action to make sure that it's done. Not wait till 4 years later, when you have state jail inspections, you get 32 violations, and then you decide that after the taxpayers have been put at a liability risk, it's time to make changes. If I were the sheriff, I would expect to be held 110% completely responsible for the conditions of that facility. And I hope that with your vote and confidence, I'll have a chance to prove that. I don't want to hear about what the budgets are, because none of the budgets for this department of any level are where they need to be. So you do with what you have, and make sure that the first things are most important. Safety and security for the residents, safety and security for your staff and for those inmates. If I'm elected sheriff, I will be accountable for that sheriff's office.
Thank you.
I've had to deal with all sorts of these problems that they're dealing with in this facility across the street. There is no easy way to handle that if you don't have an area big enough to accommodate any kind of penalty. Right now, as it is, this sheriff's department was outdated years ago. I'm not in favor of building a new jail, don't get me wrong. But we have to put up with what we have. I do believe that the officers should have a camaraderie. It should be like a family over there. They should stick together. It's like the responsibility for the condition of the jail. The responsibility lies with everyone within those walls. The ultimate accountability may fall on the sheriff to see that it gets done, but if no one tells the sheriff about it, how's he supposed to know? And I believe that there should be an area in that jail. I propose the prosecutor's office be moved, allow the sheriff's department to have the lower portion of that, to establish some kind of facility down there, that you can make an incentive for these guys, that if they take care of their jail cells, they don't tear the place up, then they're allowed to go down, play ping pong or whatever is afforded to them down there. That's the only way you're going to keep from tearing that jail apart. I know, because this worked in prison. That's how they handled it in the prison. And that's the only way you're going to do it. If not, you're going to continue to have the repairs, and it's going to come down to taxpayer expense. That's what it comes to.
Thank you so much.
I lived in Starke County my whole life. I've never felt as safe as I do now. Starke County is a safe place to live. Can I tell you that there's a way of preventing all crimes in Starke County? It's impossible. Wouldn't matter how many officers we have on every street corner, you're going to have crimes. When I started in law enforcement 30 years ago, we didn't average 20 people in the Starke County jail. Times have changed, crimes have changed, and now we average close to 70 people in the jail. Just as you would do with your child, put them in timeout, that's the purpose of the jail. When they misbehave out here on the streets and get arrested, they're brought into the jail, they're in there for timeout, they should behave. Unfortunately, they do not. I've inherited a jail that's 33 years old. It's getting dilapidated. That's not an excuse. It's sheriff's responsibility to take care of it. But as the newer jails are built, they build them in ways that the inmates cannot get to a lot of the structures that they get to now and destroy. With that, there's things being done with the jail. We've reconstructed the staff to the jail to put more jailers inside the jail, which again eliminated officers off the streets. But we can make things work with what we have to deal with. I'm not using the budget for an excuse. It's there for everyone to see. We don't have the money. We can't put all the personnel in there we'd like to have, but we make it work with what we do have. Thank you.
First off, I want to start off by saying my decision to run for this office is purely about our community. It's about facts and statistics. It's not about what I believe, it's about what's known. It's a fact that the FBI says that 1 in 33 people in Starke County will be a victim of crime. It's the fact that on the average we have 1 overdose death a month due to drugs and 20 a year due to prescription drugs. It's the fact that our surrounding counties, compared to us, we have a crime rate that's 2 to 3 times higher than all of them. Those are the facts. So we must do anything and everything that we can, from creating new programs, from the sheriff working the road, from his chief deputy working the road, from them standing side by side with what we have, which is great officers here, to bring the best possible programs and the best possible leadership and management to the jail that we can, to make sure that those things do not continue to happen. How do we do that with that budget? I'm not saying it's going to be easy, and I'm not saying the sheriff's job is easy. And I'm saying that with that budget, you need to do everything possible to make sure those things do not happen. If we have 1 death that occurs, if I'm elected as your sheriff due to overdose from drugs, I can guarantee you it won't be because every single day I don't wake up and take that job seriously. It won't be because we as an administration don't do every single thing that we can to make sure that we're safe. So on November 2nd, when it comes down to a vote, I understand there's a lot of experience in policing on this stage. But I also understand that there's got to be a new leadership direction. There's got to be a new dedication to bringing safety and security back to our streets. There's got to be a dedication to working within the schools to make the kids safer. There has to be somebody that believes in a new direction for Starke County, a new direction for leadership, somebody that's going to unite the people as one, not as divided, not based on who you are, what you are, where you go, or how much money you have, but who you are as individuals. And we all have that right. And I promise you, if you give me that honor to serve as your sheriff, I will work tirelessly every single day to make sure that your houses, your families, your property, and this community is as safe as it can.